Hey everyone, welcome back to the property. What's going on here? What the heck? Whoa! What just happened to the back wall and why am I smiling? Stick around and I'll tell you why I just cut a hole in the back of the shed. It's the start of the second week in November and I think the warm autumn days are behind me. The temperature's dipping and I've already had a couple days where I've come out and there's been an inch of snow on the ground. If I'm going to have any success in working out here during the cold winter months, I'm going to need to insulate and find a way to heat part of this shed. So what I decided to do was take the back 6 feet of the shed, frame it out 16 inches on center, and insulate it. As you can see, I'm using some Roxol R14 that fits between 16-inch on center. When heated, this will give me a warm place to go to get out of those minus 20 and minus 15 days. I decided to go with the Roxol instead of pink insulation because it's resistant to mold and mildew and keeps its shape if water penetrates the building. It's also very easy to work with. I then, as you can guess, moved on to cutting the opening for the window. Well, just got to tighten it. Well, it's the window in the back of a shed, so it doesn't have to be perfect, and I've got to say I'm pretty pleased with what I've been able to achieve here. That's pretty good. I'm going to take a break now and then come back out and get this all squared up and secured so that I can stick the window in. I removed the window box and installed these horizontal straps, and they allow me to reinsert the box at the desired depth that I wanted in the actual frame, in the window frame there. They'll also set the depth of the window as well. Attaching these straps made it extremely easy to install both the box and the window. Then it's a question of playing with the shims and the level to get it to a point where you're happy, or obviously not happy, but get it to a nice level and square position before you sock it down with the screws. And finally, in goes the window. And you'll see with a couple of knocks, it slides into position quite nicely. I found this window secondhand from a guy who actually worked on my home in Ottawa. He does very large jobs and had this extra window lying around in his shop. With the window installed, you can see that I have quite a bit more light in this small room that I've created at the back end of the shed. You can also see here that if you look to the top, that top corner there, that I have insulated the ceiling and that I'm finishing with the installation of a vapor barrier. This is either a 6 mil or a 4 mil, I can't remember exactly, but I'm using my staple gun to secure it to the walls. Many of you watching are probably quite familiar with drywalling. It's quite a common thing to do drywalling on home renovations in North America. And it's really quite a simple process. You measure, you then take those measurements, apply them to the gyprock board, score the board with a sharp edge, snap, and then install your piece. Install it with these things called drywall screws. It goes up pretty quickly. I decided to go with drywall and not boards from the logs that I'm milling outside because I need these logs for the project that's going to take place next summer. Again, you hear me referring to it quite often, but my plan is to build a 48 by 32 garage building, and again doing that with board and batten. So I need to be economical with the logs that I have available, and I've used quite a few of them in this shed project. And not to mention, drywalled space is a nice space to spend your time in. And during the cold months, I'm going to come in here during lunchtime and maybe during a break in the morning and the afternoon. I'm going to heat it, and it'll be a nice place to stay, have a meal, and maybe listen to the news and read a few things while I get ready to head back outside. So I cut this board with a couple notches in it to fit around the window. Let's see if it fits. That's pretty good. As I wind down today's video, I just wanted to show you a couple more things. I don't complete all the drywalling in this video, and I'm not going to come back to it in a future video. You're just going to see that I'm starting to use this insulated and drywalled space. And you know me, I went looking for a bargain concerning the door to the insulated space, which I think I'm going to call my office. I found this used oak door that a guy was getting rid of, paid him I think $80. The first photo here is the first dry fitting, and then the second photo here shows with it the door secured in place, as well as some drywall that I'm starting to fit to the outside wall of this office area. I thought you might be interested in seeing the finished window from the exterior, all caulked and trimmed out. It's nice and airtight. Here's a photo of the respirator I was wearing in terms of when I was doing the insulation. And finally, here are a couple teasers for future videos. This is to hint in terms of the type of heating source that I've created for the space and the type of meals that I'm able to prepare myself on these cold winter days while trying to warm myself when it's minus 15 and minus 20 outside. Thanks for joining me for today's video, and I hope you come back to see future episodes. Take care.